Hey guys, welcome to the CrossFit Grandview podcast. Today is podcast number 31. And what we're going to talk about today is the future of CrossFit Grandview, our new facility, and the upcoming 2021 Open. So I'm going to open this up just talking about our new facility, and I'll kind of finish up with announcements and talking about the CrossFit Open. Just so if anyone listens to this in a month or so, it ages and they can just kind of skip over the open stuff because it'll be open or it'll be over here pretty dang soon. So yeah, I'll just kind of dive into this. So recently, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I announced that CrossFit Grandview and our sister location, Grandview Barbell, has found our forever location. So that location is 999 Kinnear Road, and our driveway is only about 600 feet away from CrossFit Grandview's current driveway at 880 Kinnear. So I've got a lot of questions like, I don't really know exactly where it is. It's really close. So it actually sits off the road really similarly to how CrossFit Grandview does currently. It's on the other side of the light, and it's the driveway on Kinnear next to the flower shop, and you'll take that driveway all the way back. So right in front of us is like a robotics school called the Innovation Lab, and we share a driveway with them, and then we take that straight back probably about 200 meters to what will be our new location. And it is a 23,000 square foot building. So just for reference, our current building is about 10,000 square feet with the offices and our storage. And the gym space is about 7,200 square feet. So we'll have about 18,000 square feet of gym space at this new facility. That being said, we will be combining Grandview Barbell and CrossFit Grandview into this space. We'll have a wall between the two, but we will share one location. So they will be separated in a way, but we'll share one location. We'll share amenities like locker rooms and showers and bathrooms. The cool thing is I know a lot of people been asking me, are we gonna have showers? Yes, we'll have showers and locker rooms for men and women. We'll also have one in, one out bathrooms. All in all, we're going to have like 10 places to use the restroom, which is awesome because currently we just have one in, one out bathroom for the whole gym. So that will be nice to not have lines and people waiting outside the bathroom. What I'm going to do is just kind of talk about the background and how this came about, because it's kind of a weird year to actually step up and then take a business to another level when we're going through a pandemic and things are pretty crazy. So it certainly wasn't the plan. So a little background. Owning a building isn't something I just stumbled upon. It's been a goal of mine since about 2014, 2015. I have it written down in journals and different things. And then every 2 or 3 years I make goals for the next 3 years, and always at the top of that list is I'd like to own my own building. So over the last 5-6 years, I've walked through a handful of buildings. The goal was always to keep it really close. I never wanted to go outside the outer belt. There's plenty of inventory if you kick out into the burbs or out by Pataskala and places like that where there's going to be some inventory and some old warehouses available, but that our crew is not going to be driving out 45 minutes to a location like that. So I always wanted to keep it really close, preferably Kinnear Road or somewhere in this Grandview area, somewhere where we're not going to lose clients by moving too far away. Long story short, with the history of walking through some of these buildings and looking over the last 5 or 6 years, so about every year I'd probably walk through one or two. Pretty common problems were they're industrial buildings, there's not enough parking. Sometimes there'd be 12 to 14 spots in a building about the size that we have right now, which obviously isn't going to work when we're parking, 30 or 40 people at a time, and then we've got people coming in behind them. So that was always an obvious problem. And then ones that would accommodate the parking were typically too far away. So, walked through a bunch of properties. Also, a lot of the properties around are really expensive, and real estate developers are buying them up, scraping them and turning them into apartments and condos. Ohio State is also gobbling up a lot of the area around. So competing with them is not easy when you're a small mom and pop. So it actually started to fade off my radar probably the last 2 or 3 years. I actually approached our current landlord several times, asking if there was ever a possibility I could, purchase or rent to own or anything like that. And he owns the whole 7.5, 8 acres that our property resides on, and we have the main entrance. So he wasn't really interested in breaking up the property or selling like a little portion of it to us. So that dream actually was starting to fade. And then fast forward to this year, or 2020, right before we got locked down, the week before, my commercial real estate broker and our member, Peter Merkel, was like, hey, I found a building that I think might work for you. It's right down the street. So we actually walked through 999 Kinnear. And so I walked through it, and I'm like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wow, this space could really work for us. But, he let me know the price tag on the building, and then I'm looking around at the building, and it's rough. It needs a lot of work, and it was expensive. And then at the time, the virus was starting to kick up and get some steam. Cancellations and holds were starting to roll in. This is, again, probably a few days, like 4 or 5 days before the full lockdown happened. We didn't know that was going to happen yet, but that was starting to pick up steam. And as that's happening, and I'm looking at this huge price tag, I'm like, hey, let's put this on the back burner and then see how this thing shakes out. Well, 4 or 5 days later, we go on a lockdown for 10 weeks. I think he circles back with me maybe a few weeks into that lockdown, and I'm like, this is off my radar. Like, I'm just trying to survive. I'm not worried about trying to buy a building. I don't know if our business is going to make it through this. So fast forward, we get out of the shutdown. Again, this is totally off my radar. We're trying to rebuild our business. We've lost maybe 30% of our clients. We're trying to crawl back, and maybe about 6 to 8 weeks out of quarantine, my landlord asked to have a conversation. And this isn't something that he's really ever done in the last 9 years. Wants to have a sit down with me. And I'm like, okay. I knew that the property had recently been vacated by a long-time tenant, some of the other buildings around us, and I had a bad feeling. I kind of knew it was coming. So he sits me down and basically lets me know that they'd put out a bid for proposal, meaning they were accepting bids on the property, and we're going to hear people out on purchasing the property. Now, a property of this size, I'm learning now, it takes a long time to move and sell. People have to do a lot of due diligence, maybe up to a year of it, getting zoning and planning and working with the city to figure out how to redevelop the property before they'll actually purchase it, because it's a lot of money, tens of millions of dollars, to buy a property like that in the middle of the city. All that being said, I knew what this meant was when my lease is up here in 2 years, that means I'm probably out of here and they're going to scrape the building. And so myself and Kate had a big decision to make. At this time, I would say about 20% of the CrossFit gyms especially a lot of the smaller ones in the immediate area, some of which I'm good friends with the owners, they're closing down. People are winding down their CrossFit businesses, they're closing down. I get this news and, I have to make a big decision. Am I going to just, try and ride this thing out for 2 more years, sell all the equipment and look for other opportunities, get a new job, try and downsize it, or not take a step back, take a step forward, empty the tank empty out every savings account and everything we have to try and buy this building, that's right down the street and take it to the next level. So, we had to sit on it for a few days, and then we made the decision to, as hard of a decision it wasn't hard really. We're going to plow forward and we're going to make this happen, not just for us, but for our coaches and for our members and for all of you guys, and really take this thing to the next level and create a place that is a destination. It's going to be a place that, people fly into Columbus and they want to go and get their picture taken there. So, and it's not, it's not out of ego. I wanted to create a place like this for a long time, and as bad as things were, I just had faith that we can make it happen. So we went ahead and put in an offer. At the same time, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know anything about commercial real estate, and luckily, Pete Merkel is a great real estate broker, and then he's also connected and has worked with some of our other members, and one of which is Cole Ellis, who trains in Kate's group and has worked out at the gym basically since we've been in Grandview, and he has a lot of experience in that space. And we got connected with him, and without him, this would have never came together. And basically, he helped us by basically just showing us through the entire process. He helped set us up with attorneys, banks, so the bank that gave us the SBA loan, contractors, basically every single piece and part that I would have had no idea how to. He shepherded me through this entire process and helped us get the thing zoned every single step of the way. He just showed us what to do, and it was amazing. Without that, there's no way we would have been able to pull this off. So I'm forever indebted to him. He's just helped us tremendously and asked for nothing in return. Just was there to meet with me, talk to me, and help me. So if you ever see Cole, know that he's the reason this is all happening. To get back on track, and again, not to be too long-winded with the whole story, this deal wasn't easy. We put an offer in. We only had like 60 days to close on it. I had to get loans and things like that, and it ended with basically we're giving the building owner $500 a day to stay in contract while we're trying to close papers, and it was like close to all blowing up. And long story short, we're able to ink the deal, but we don't have zoning or any of this stuff done where we actually, what you need to know to actually open a business or even start construction or anything like that. So we had to just like blindly jump into a pool and not even know if there was water. So if we're not able to get this zoned the right way or anything like that, we're just gonna have to turn around and sell the building and then probably lose, 6 figures in real estate fees and all of that on this whole deal, and then it would have been a bad situation for us. Luckily, we were able to get preliminary zoning approval, and that's when I went ahead and made that announcement and let you guys know, like, hey, we are going to do this, because that gave us the go-ahead, like, we are allowed to use this building for a CrossFit gym. So we'll get to kind of the fun part and just planning the vision for this place. Right now, we're submitting drawings to the city and trying to get permitting. So once we get permitting, we'll be off to the races and building this out. Everyone's asking me, when's this going to be ready? I don't know. We have to get permits to be allowed to build. We'll turn something in. It'll take 30 days for them to like look it over. Then they're going to give it back to us. We'll have to fix it, and then we'll turn it in, and then it's going to probably take them another 30 days. So we'll see how long it takes to get this thing off the ground. The goal is this fall to have everything moved over there and rocking and rolling. So we'll have another summer here at CrossFit Grandview and Grandview Barbell, and then ideally the fall of 2021 we are moving in. It might get pushed back to early 2022, I don't know. We're hoping that this fall, ideally early this fall, we're in this new space. So I've even heard some preliminary like concerns like, okay, how's this gonna work? Or are you gonna raise prices on us? So I'll address a few of those and just the basic plan. Not a ton's gonna change. So our schedule's gonna stay pretty similar to what it is now. The only thing we're probably gonna do is add more classes, as time goes on. The pricing structure is gonna stay the same. Barbell and CrossFit will stay separate. We'll have a wall in between them. We will have doors that open that go between the two spaces. But we'll keep the pricing structure the same with the add-on and the 24-hour access. That'll all be there. We're not raising rates on any current members. Rates will eventually go up, just like prices and inflation go up, but that won't be on current members. That will be on new members coming in. So if you guys we've got members who have been with us for 10, 11 years, and the rate they locked in on, as long as they stayed with us, back in 2010 is what they pay now. So that's something that I've always really tried to stay true to. And so if you leave and come back, you're gonna pay the new rate, but as long as you're rocking and rolling with us, we're gonna try and maintain that rate for you as long as possible. We're only gonna try and add new classes. I think we will have more people doing all of it together, since it's all gonna be in one space, and you'll get to see those power hour classes, the rev classes. The new barbell space should be really cool. Instead of being in 2,500 square feet, it's gonna be in about 8,500 square feet. We're gonna have affiliate PT, the Body Biz, and they're gonna have dedicated offices as well as a metabolic testing room. And we have some pretty cool plans. Nothing that I wanna get too far ahead of myself. We'd love to get like a cool coffee shop or something in a retail area in front. And then talk about, we have 4,000 square foot of office space, trying to find other synergistic businesses, maybe a physician or someone that could occupy that space. So we have businesses that complement our CrossFit and barbell businesses in there, and we all work together. So that's really the goal and the dream. And then the space in general, every little niche, what it's gonna do is allow us to fully dive into it and fully just crush that niche. So whether it's power hour, rev, even our CrossFit space, our competition program, having some Olympic weightlifting platforms, we're all gonna be fully able to serve each one of those groups that we have and not just make it work. We're gonna have these dedicated areas for all of it. Now, as soon as I get renderings and things like that, I'll be sharing them with you guys to hype everything up along the way. I just wanted to get this podcast out there to wrap your head around what we're thinking here. So the cool thing is one thing you can envision that's really neat is think about a gym. Instead of, a lot of CrossFit gyms, maybe they have 5 or 6 classes, maybe even up to like 7 or 8 a day. Right now we have a huge schedule with like 10 classes a day. At this new facility, we're gonna have 15, 16 different classes a day. Tons of training options, 24-hour access, open gym rolling all the time. Your schedule, you'll be able to find things that work for you. So finding a class that works for your schedule won't be an issue. A lot of the little things that make it challenging for people like, man, I wish you had showers like that, that'll all be taken care of. Locker room, showers, everything's gonna be very convenient, and we're building the space to just be an amazing group training facility. So we'll have an amazing group training facility as well as the open gym and all the niche things. So if you get a little cooked on CrossFit, you've got Power Hour right there. You know, you want to get strong in the wintertime. Oh, summer's coming up, you can transition to Rev and then back to Power Hour, then Olympic weightlifting. It's going to be a really cool facility. I'm just excited. I could talk about it all day. As it gets closer, I'll probably run another podcast, again, just hyping it up. I just wanted to get this one out there so you guys can understand my basic vision for it just as we're getting started. The next thing I want to chat about is the 2021 Open, just kind of how it's going to flow. So we have a lot of new members this year. Some of you guys maybe don't really understand what the Open is. I'm not going to dive too deep into like what the Open is and how all of that works. I'll kind of give a basic rundown. So the Open is the first layer of the CrossFit Games competition. This year, it kind of changes every year. This year, Open's just 3 weeks. The top 10% will move on to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals, I believe, is in April. And from there, quarterfinalists will move on to a regional sectional sort of layer, which is going to be a semifinals, and then the finals will be the CrossFit Games, which they'll go ahead and run in Madison in July. I love the format this year. The Open's shorter, it's just 3 weeks. What tends to happen is people in a 5-week Open, they'll miss a workout, or they'll start to lose a little interest. It's just 3 weeks. And then what I really love about it, rather than just the 0.012% make it to the next layer, it's 10%. So it's the top 10% of athletes move on to that next layer, which we have a lot of level 2 athletes. We'll have a lot of athletes that are very capable of moving on to that next layer, and it's something to hang your hat on. Now, this is like an elite group, but it's not like you have to be a complete professional CrossFit athlete to make it in there. So I love this new format that they're doing. That applies to Masters athletes as well. Super excited about that. I'll talk about more after the Open's over, how we'll organize that next group moving forward. Real quick, what I want to talk about is just the times. So this starts next week. So Fridays, you will be able to complete the Open at 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. or 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon. Saturdays, all of the classes during the Open, Saturdays will be the Open workout for all of the classes on Saturday. At 11 and noon, we're going to do it how we've done it in the past. We're going to have the DJ and the competition format. You will, however, sign up for the class. We used to have like Open Heat sign up, and we would break it down to the 20-minute marks. You're just going to sign up for the class. You guys will warm up in those classes on your own, similar to like a competition, and then you'll find a partner, and then you guys will flip-flop and judge each other. Okay? The classes before that, we'll run them as a class. We'll still have you judged in things, but we're going to do a group warm up and things like that. The last 2 classes of that Saturday, we're going to run it competition style. And we're going to have a DJ in there, and then I'm going to have a microphone, and I'm going to MC it and kind of judge it. That's typically when we have the people who would be trying to go for like that top 10%, or people who just want a competition environment to do the workout. So that's our main day that we like to do it. Sunday, we're going to cancel the 1:30 p.m. class, and from 1:30 to 2:30, we're going to have an open gym time where you can do the Open. Monday's our last chance, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. during Open Gym. Again, ideally you bring someone in who can judge you, or make sure someone's going to be around who can judge you on that. And then 2 to 3:30 p.m. What we want to avoid at our gym is having people come in during Open Gym 5:30 p.m. or Monday. We have a full 27-person class. and they want to do the open workout, and they're trying to knife through people, and they're doing the workout really seriously. If you can't make any of these times, go ahead and email us. Just shoot an email through the contact box. Let us know your issue. Let us know when you can do it. We'll try and make arrangements, but do not plan on showing up to the gym Monday evening wanting to do your third attempt at an open workout during a full gym. It happened in the past, and we've nipped it in the bud. So it happened maybe 4 or 5 years ago, kind of frequently, and we figured out it was an issue, and it hasn't. But we have a lot of new members, some that might not be on your radar. So just note these times. Again, all this is up on our chalkboard, but if it's not on your radar, just understand that's how we're gonna execute the open. I'm excited for it this year. I think that what's really cool is CrossFit's putting an emphasis back on the games again. I think with COVID and a lot of gyms just literally just trying to survive, this open right here might not be as heavily participated as it has been in the past. At other gyms, ours, we always rock it out. I think in the next few years, you're gonna see the open go from, 150 to 200,000 people participating to 1 or 2 million people worldwide participating. I think the way that they're trying to set this up now, it's going to explode and the sport's going to get really big. I'm super fired up for the new ownership and how they're planning on doing the games now. After the open, something I'm really excited about, and we're bringing it back. So again, some of our newer members have never been to a social because of COVID and everything that's been going on. We're bringing back our after the open party. It's going to be at Woodland's backyard that last Saturday that we have the open. I believe it's the 27th. I'll make an event for it, and it's going to start at, I believe, 6 p.m. Again, I'll make an event to confirm everything. We have it reserved. Basically, the way these socials work, I'm gonna have a big tab. You guys will come in. You can have free drinks, order food, have a good time. It's on the house up to a certain amount. And then we'll go ahead and cut that tab off after a couple hours. And then you can continue to hang out and party. Woodland's backyard's a great place for it. We've got tons of tables. Everyone can sit at tables, socially distanced. They're really good with all of that stuff. So if you've been out to restaurants or anything right now, they do a great job with their distancing and having barriers and all of that up. We did a little fall football party there, and it was awesome. So they did everything by the books. It's really safe, and it should be a little nicer. They've got volleyball courts and tons of outdoor seating in area as well. I'm just excited to start to get back to a little bit of normalcy and get these things back on our radar, grow that community vibe that we've always had, and we still do, but just know we're investing in that. And it's something special to our gym. It's not just something we do once a year or every once in a while. It's something we do on a regular basis. We do it 4 times a year. We have these big parties. So we're getting that back on the radar. We've got this in the spring. Summer Shred will be right around the corner. And then to finish that, we'll bring that pool party back. I think Premier is shut down now, so we'll find a new location for it. But yeah, I'm just excited for this year. I think everything's just gonna be on an upward trajectory. And I'm just excited to roll all this stuff out for you guys and can't wait for the next few months. We'll see you next time.